ASSOCHAM, or Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry of India, recently organized a day-long national summit on research in higher education in the country, followed by the coveted Education Excellence Awards. Hello and welcome to the show. Today on the show, we will bring you face-to-face not just with the eminent panelists and winners of the award, but also Minister of State for HRD, Dr. Ram Shankar Katheria, who spoke with us about government's broad vision to strengthen the overall education system of the country.
सर, भारत दुनिया के सबसे बड़े एजुकेशन सिस्टम्स में से एक है। सरकार का क्या ब्रॉड विजन है, क्या प्लान है इसे और सुदृढ़ और स्ट्रेंथन करने के लिए?
देखिए, भारत निश्चित रूप से हम जहाँ शुरुआत करते हैं अपने ज्ञान की बात, विज्ञान की बात करें, तक्षशिला नालंदा से हम शुरुआत करें तो हमारे देश में किसी प्रकार से कोई न ज्ञान की कमी है, न विज्ञान की कमी है, न किसी तरह की कमी नहीं है, न इच्छा शक्ति की कमी है। मैं मानता हूँ कि अभी भी दुनिया के 200 विश्वविद्यालयों में जब बात आती है तो हम कहीं ना कहीं भी पिछड़े हैं। हमारी इच्छा शक्ति और हमें मोटिवेट और ज़्यादा करने की ज़रूरत है और मुझे उम्मीद है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी हमारे इस दिशा में जो देश को एक मोटिवेट करने का काम कर रहे हैं, निश्चित रूप से एक विश्वास के साथ और एक इच्छा शक्ति के साथ हम आगे बढ़ेंगे और हम दुनिया के चाहे जितने यूनिवर्सिटी आगे हों लेकिन हम सबसे ऊपर खड़े होंगे।
सर, और यूनिवर्सिटीज़ और कॉलेजेस भी नए खोलने का प्लान है, नए आईटीज़, उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए।
हमारा ये मानना है कि रिसर्च के क्षेत्र में हमारी सरकार, हमारी मिनिस्ट्री पूरा ये ध्यान दे रही है एक अच्छे टीचर देश में खड़े हों इस दिशा में, और रिसर्च के क्षेत्र में हम कहीं दुनिया में पीछे ना रहें। उनके संसाधनों की हम कहाँ से पूर्ति कर सकते हैं, अच्छे स्कॉलर हमारे पास हैं, लेकिन हम इसको बढ़ावा देने के लिए जो जो संसाधन आवश्यक होंगे उसके लिए हम पूरी तरह से, चाहे हम प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा हमें बाहर से भी किसी को बुलाना होगा तो उनको भी बुलाऊंगा, लेकिन हम सेल्फ डिपेंड हमारा भारत खड़ा हो और वो तभी होगा जब हम रिसर्च के क्षेत्र में हम आत्मनिर्भर बनेंगे।
सर, और जो साक्षरता की दर है वो भी काफ़ी 2002 से 2014 के बीच बढ़ गई है और अब इसको लेकिन अभी भी सारे युवकों तक नहीं पहुंची है पूरे देश में।
ये बात ठीक है कि हमारा रूरल जो एजुकेशन है और विशेष रूप से जो वनवासी क्षेत्र है, कुछ आदिवासी क्षेत्र है, वहाँ का परसेंटेज बहुत कम है। ये हमारी सरकार की प्राथमिकता है कि ये हमारा परसेंटेज कैसे बढ़े और जो ड्रॉप स्टूडेंट करते हैं बहुत बड़ी संख्या में, उनको रोकने के लिए हम प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं कि कम से कम ग्रेजुएशन तक हर एक छात्र पढ़े और वो ग्रेजुएशन तक पूरी करें।
और सर, प्राइवेट और पब्लिक पार्टनरशिप आप उसको किस नज़र से देखते हैं?
नहीं, देखिए, प्राइवेट क्षेत्र में हमारी एजुकेशन को एक बहुत अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूट देश में खड़े हुए हैं, उन पे हमें गर्व है और उनको किसी तरह हम डिमोलाइज नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम उन्हें प्रोत्साहन करेंगे। और कहीं किसी तरह कमियां हैं, मान लो कोई बिजनेस के रूप में यदि चला रहा है और उसके कारण कोई प्रॉब्लम हो रही है तो हम उनसे आग्रह करेंगे वो देश के हित में काम करें, ये हमारा आग्रह रहेगा।
Thanks for talking to us, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I'm joined by Dr. Urvashi Makkar, Director, IMS Ghaziabad, and IMS Ghaziabad is also the winner of the Best B Schools in India North. Thanks for talking to us, ma'am. Now, talking about the state of management education in the country, there is of course a lot of gap between the number of graduates coming out of management colleges and employability. Where do you think the system has a problem, and how can we address that?
Yeah, definitely. It's very pertinent challenge which country is facing currently, that how many graduates are really employable who are getting the degrees. The degrees are technically valid, but when they talk about their recruitments, the placements in the market, that is a big challenge. I always used to tell to my students that the 2 years of the process which they're going to spend in our institution is more important than the end result in the terms of a placement. Because those 2 years process is going to prepare them for the whole journey of the life, you can say, and that is going to build up their competence. So I very strongly believe as the head of the institution that the competence building is needed for 2 years. The different skill sets have to be identified which are needed to be focused during these 2 years, and that's why our focus is very clearly on lots of different skills, including even the soft skills, the emotional quotient building.
Right. And also talking about the role that private colleges, private management colleges can play in sort of, providing the industry with the quality human resource that they need. What kind of role do you foresee private players playing in future?
I think I very strongly believe that in our country currently, the scenario in the business management education, the private players are the bigger contributors because when we talk about private versus public sector, the public sector is producing very less number of MBAs and of course the management graduates, and of course in two very strong categories. One obviously the university affiliated institutions and the other the centers of excellence. And there is no denying of the fact that the center of excellences are providing the best of the cream because they are getting the best of the cream from the whole lot of the pool which is available to the country. So sometimes I really feel that they are getting advantage of being in a very strong virtuous cycle which has already been prepared or already has been you can say created in our country since last 60 years because of their strong existence, their strong branding. So here comes the real role of the private players because they have to fill up the gap between what exactly the center of excellence are providing and what exactly is needed by the corporate, because the number of employable graduates, the management graduates needed in the country are more than 100 times, which only the government sector is providing or the producing. So definitely I feel the private sector is doing commendable and appreciable job in terms of providing quality graduates. But surely, again in that there are so many categorization. We really need to understand the challenges available to the country and the corporate interface.
And one of them being the fact that, of course, 10 years ago, MBA was the thing to do, the course to pursue, because it almost guaranteed a job. And of course, over India, now the debate is, well, you might be an MBA, but will you get a job tomorrow? So do you think that the number of aspiring MBA candidates has come down, and where do you see this trend going in future?
Yeah, again here comes the role of the employable skills. Whether the graduate is getting those employable skills during the 2 years of the program being in the campus or not. And for that there has to be very strong linkage with the corporate. And when we talk about the corporate interface and the linkage, the institution has the responsibility to provide lots of platforms to the students in terms of the live projects, assignments, research is conducted by the corporate sector, and obviously certain industrial visits, lots of you can say corporate expert series, and very strong interface with the alumni also, the connect with the alumni, because the alumni is the pool which has been created by the institution of their own worth, and when you reconnect with them you get back the knowledge reservoir which you have created in the market. So that's what is really important. So I am sure once these are done, the students are benefited, and we are doing the same.
Thanks for talking to us, ma'am. Thank you so much.
It's really nice talking.
Thank you. Now I'm joined by Dr. Madhumita Chatterjee, Director, IFIM Business School. Ma'am, your college won the award for Best Institution for promoting industry academia interface. First of all, how does it feel?
Oh, it feels great because this has been our dream that being a management institution, you cannot be a standalone academic institution. So we've always wanted to connect back to the industry. So we are today talking about research. So how do we get this connect with the academia and the industry? And we have a number of, what shall I say, programs that actually connects this. So one of them is we have a 4.5-month internship, and which is, I think, very unique to an MBA institution, and that comes right at the end of our education. So you learn all the concepts, then you go to the industry, but that's a monitored project. It's part of the academics. It is not just, a backdoor entry to a job. It's about learning to implement your concepts. That is one of them. We also have a mentoring program with the industry. So there are industry people who mentor our students, and the students have a free heyday with them. They discuss everything they want to with them. So that's another way of interacting. We also have a kind of a mock GDPI session that we start right from the beginning that the student comes in. So he gets comfortable about what the industry is all about. And other than that, the regular ones, the industry visits and the guest talks and mandatory guest lectures are there from the industry in every course. Every faculty has to ensure that they get the best people in.
And one of the criticisms of the education system has been the fact that people often say that there is a gap between what a student studies in schools and colleges and what he or she is expected to do at the workplace. And so do you believe that winning this award also, highlight to us, tell us exactly how, this could help a student in becoming a better professional tomorrow?
Yeah, certainly. See, it is all about how you implement your concepts. See, we cannot say theory is not important and practice is only important, because it's a symbiotic relationship. A lot of times theory comes out of practice, many a times theory actually builds the practice. So if this symbiosis is not there, then how do we expect the industry to do well or the students to enjoy their learning? I mean, at the end of the day, why are you doing this? You want to implement it, you want to see it through. So that's the reason we want to bring this symbiosis. There are also places where we have met the industry telling us we actually don't know what to do beyond this. So can we discuss it with the academia? And that's where the cases develop. That's where they interact with our faculty. And we come up from the academic angle. I think this is what needs to be done. And then they'll tell us this is feasible and this is not feasible. And that's the beauty of it, you know.
I'm with Dr. N.S. Ramesh Murthy, Director, Sikkim Manipal University Distance Education, also the winner of the award. First of all, Dr. Murthy, how does it feel to have won the award?
We are a university that are well known for our innovative ideas, and that is why, unless law keeps pace with the changes that take place in society, a university like ours finds it difficult at times to tread along the regulatory requirements. This is indeed a validation of all that we have been doing, and the award coming second year in the running really means a lot to us.
Right. So what kind of innovation are we talking about? What do you think Sikkim Manipal University has done differently?
Distance education, by its very nature, is something that deals with reaching out. And in doing so, there could be nothing better a tool than that of technology, especially our university, who have wonderful technology tools, especially something called EduNext, which is an interactive portal that is made available to students who may interact with each other in a virtual classroom, interact with the faculty and with the world at large of academics, and enrich their learning while at the same time preparing for their examinations and completing their degrees.
In the overall education system, what kind of a role do you see distance education playing in the near future?
Distance education, I think, is the best alternative that is available to a vast country like ours, especially given the challenges of infrastructure and other lack of faculty that's very glaring. So distance education can bridge all these gaps and possibly can mean a convergence of strengths from all around.
Right. And what about the industry acceptance of distance education degrees?
Well,
You believe the scenario has changed a little bit?
The University Grants Commission does not distinguish between degrees granted on campus and those awarded on distance. In terms of curriculum and other requirements, it's all the same. It's just that the mode of delivery is different.
Right.
Whereas a credit, 1 credit of learning is equal to 15 hours of classroom lecture, the same it translates to 30 hours of learning over distance. So therefore, there is absolute parity, and in fact, distance education calls for tremendous self-motivation and self-learning. I think
Right.
that's where the working professional would not only benefit for himself but also for the industry.
Right, right. Congratulations on winning the awards, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's time for us to slip into a quick pick, but you don't go anywhere, as on the other side, we're joined by Mr. Maninder Singh Nair, Co-Chairman, National Council on HRD, ASSOCHAM.